Hello, welcome to another episode of FPL Waffle. Sneaking one in before the deadline at 6 p.m. today. I'm going to make it short and sweet as possible because I'm just doing this in between work. And I don't think there's loads to talk about this week, so I'm just going to keep it brief. So, firstly, let's see how I got on in Game Week 32 in the blank. So, I didn't have my free hit. So, I was always going to be up against it with a lot of people playing their free hit. And I got 55 points, above average. I did get a red arrow, but it wasn't a monumental red arrow. Partly because my boy Saka came in on the captaincy of 26 points. He outscored Salah, who was the most overwhelmingly most popular captain choice. So that kept my red arrow from being any bigger than it was. Defensively, Zuma did a nice job for me on Sunday. Trent got the return, so he sort of justified the hit with me needing him future weeks. Disappointed Slanky didn't get a return, but then that did mean my Zuma return, so it kind of worked out all right. And Bowen got an assist. Madison was a big disappointment, getting ill and a sickness bug overnight. You can't predict these things in FPL, so it is what it is. He didn't get any points, but 55 all out, not awful. But yeah, it kind of keeps us ticking over, keeps me at 614k in the world. So I still have a lot to work for this season to try and finish with a decent rank. As for this kind of coming game week, so it's an interesting one because it's game week 33, which is kind of the pre sort of match game week before the big double game week 34, which we're all looking to. So if we look at the fixtures for this week, there's sort of not loads of standouts in my opinion. I mean, if you don't have Ollie Watkins at home to Fulham, you might be a bit nervous. Leeds v Leicester, there could be goals in that game, but again, if you don't have either of those assets, you're not really too worried. Um, Brighton v Forest, my Brighton team. Away to Forest, it's not going to be easy. We've just played 120 minutes against United in the Cup. Do you need to rush to bring Brighton players in this week? You probably don't. But if you want to bring them in for the double, you could bring them in this week before that. Chelsea Brentford, I don't think anyone's looking there. West Ham Liverpool. Okay, Liverpool's a nice one for game week 34. They've got a really nice double. I think it's one of those weeks where you could make a transfer. You could bring in Salah now, Trent now, if you want them. Equally, if you want to wait for more information for next week, roll a transfer, etc. I think away to West Ham's one you could probably wait on a week. West Ham have been doing well recently. They're at home. They might make it difficult for Liverpool. You would be surprised if someone like Salah smashed it this week. Like I'd be expecting he might get a goal or something, but you could probably live without him for this week if you wanted to wait till next week. Same with City Arsenal. Like Arsenal's going to be one of the hardest games City have this season, so it might be worth waiting a week to bring in sort of City assets for them. Really nice double next week. Unless you haven't got Haaland, you probably could justify bringing in Haaland this week as a man that we know can do damage against anyone. So if you sort of are planning to do bring out Kane and bring in Haaland, this could be the week to just get that move done. Everton Newcastle, I think you don't have to be too stressed about that. Newcastle aren't doubling next week, so you can probably just get by without them. Southampton Bournemouth, you're not really looking there. And then Spurs United is probably the only other one to note where you don't want the Spurs players particularly moving forward with how well they're playing and the lack of doubles they have. United, Rashford did just play 120 minutes against us in the Cup. So again, it's a bit like my kind of Salah thing. I think you could probably get away with waiting on Rashford this week. Bruno Fernandes looks injured. The likes of Luke Shaw and Rashford, who you could well want for the double game at 34. If you wanted to wait till next week, you could probably get away with it. I know Spurs just got crushed by Newcastle, but they're going to want to do a better performance than that. Rashford's 120 minutes makes me think I doubt he's going to get 90 in this match, realistically. And Shaw, are Spurs going to score? Kane keeps ticking over, so they probably will. So my kind of concluding thoughts really are you can probably wait if you need to on a lot of these players. If you want to roll a transfer this week and go into game week 34 with two transfers, you probably can get away with it. Equally, if you want to just get Rashford in now, Salah in now, etc., you can do it. I think it's one of those you can either decision for a lot of these things. I think is fine. I just think it's one of those weeks where I think I could see a lot of players doing okay, but I can't see loads of players on paper absolutely smashing it this week. You need to be terrified about not owning. So that's kind of like my kind of brief thoughts, really. In terms of my team, at the moment, I'm going for Everson in goal over Edison. I know that seems ridiculous, and I think it is a little bit ridiculous. Basically, my logic is I'm expecting both Leicester and City to concede in those fixtures. But I'm expecting, therefore, Everson to make more save points than Edison. That's the logic, simple as that. I'm going to go for it. I don't care. I'm going to go for it. Everson, I'm hoping he makes hundreds of saves and happens to get a clean sheet and gets a massive haul. Edison isn't going to get a haul realistically. So we're going for Everson. We're doing it. We're doing it. Trippier, you've just got to play him, haven't you? Everton have been awful attackingly. Against Everton, good fixture. Trent's been doing well recently against West Ham. It's a decent enough fixture. Happy with him. Botman for the double up again. Everton have been awful attackingly. I'm happy with a Newcastle double up. Into midfield, Matoma. Thrilled with Matoma for Brighton all season. He's just been brilliant for us. One of our talisman. Bowen at home to Liverpool, I've popped in there just because West Ham have been doing better lately. Liverpool's defence we know is shaky. At home to them, I fancy to have a go. Saka I've got because he's their star man for Arsenal. He did well in the week against Southampton or last game week. If anyone's going to sort of help to pull off a fantastic result for Arsenal in the title race at the Etihad, you think Saka might be involved and he's on pen. So I'm going to play Saka. Maddison I've held. Away to Leeds, I just think is a lovely fixture. We know Leeds concede by the bucketful. It looks like Maddison should be back for that from his illness. So I'm going to go for Maddison. And then up front, we've got Haaland, Solanke and Watkins. Solanke away at Southampton was part of the plan. I'm happy with that. It's a good fixture. Watkins at home to Fulham, good fixture for an informed player. And Haaland's you don't need to talk about Haaland, do you? At home to Arsenal. He's going to be up for it. He should be absolutely good for the captaincy armband this week. However, because I'm chasing rank, and, Arsenal should be a tricky fixture on paper. Am I expecting him to haul with a hat-trick? He could do, couldn't he? I'd like to think Arsenal will restrict him to perhaps a goal, 2 max. Therefore, watch this, everyone. We're captain Ollie Watkins. Inspired by my wife. She captained him last week, got unlucky. We're thinking of captaining him this week for differential. Home to Fulham, good fixture. Hugely informed Villa side. This is the week I'm going to risk all to try and chase rank with the hope that, worst case, Haaland shouldn't smash it against Arsenal. But Watkins could be a differential captaincy for me this week. So I'm going to captain Watkins. Here you go, live on my recording, and vice on Haaland. And then on the bench, like I said, Edison's there. Grealish, I just think Saka or Grealish, let's play Saka. If Arsenal smash it, he's their main man. Haaland's City's main man. I want to play both the main men in that fixture. Grealish isn't a huge player to score or get assists. He's not a massive returner in terms of getting hauls. So I'm happy. I'm at peace with having him on the bench. And then Zuma against Liverpool, you think Liverpool are going to score. And then Chelsea away for Brentford again. You think Chelsea have a reasonable chance of scoring and taking Henry's clean sheet, even though Chelsea have been awful this season. I'm quite happy benching him. So that's the team. I'm basically hopeful I can come through this week. Unless Watkins smashes it and gets me a massive green arrow, I'm sort of hoping to come through it with a sort of fairly average game week, maybe a small green arrow, and then I can really attack double game week 34 next week with my 2 free transfers and players already in this side that are ready for the double for that double game week. So that's my team. There's some of my thoughts. I think it's one of those weeks you can kind of get through with rolling a transfer if you need to. If you want to look ahead to 34 next week and attack it with 2 free transfers, unless there's players like Haaland and that you want to bring in now, or Rashford and Salah, and just get the move done. I think it's one of those weeks you can kind of either make the transfer now and ready for next week, or you can wait. And there shouldn't be many players that destroy this week that you need to be terrified of. That's basically what I'm thinking. Hence why I'm rolling my transfer this week. I was very tempted to do Salah and Rashford in this week, but I just think I'm happy to wait. I'll have more information next week with if there's any injuries and stuff with my 2 free transfers to attack the double game week 34. So I'm happy to wait. I'm happy to hold. Hope Rashford and Salah don't go off this week and destroy me. And then next week I can potentially bring them in and assess my options and get the best possible 34 double game week side I can muster. So that's my thoughts. Hope you have a good game week. Hope you can get your team nicely ready. Looking ahead to 34 next week. And for now, I'll catch you guys on the next one.